Professor Wael Farouq of the American University of Cairo in Milano for 1 year teaching at Università Cattolica. Thank you for being with us. What's your reading of the situation in Egypt now?
The situation in Egypt now is really painful. It's a very difficult moment for the country and for Egyptian people, but is full of hope and very promising, because if we go back to the year 2011, January 2011, the same young people who have revolted against the Mubarak regime, moved by their desire of freedom, led by their faith in noble human values. These young people, 2011, were against Mubarak. 2012 were against military council, and now they are against the Islamists. I think this continuity of opposing and fighting different types and forms of dictatorship, different types and forms of fake ideological promises about stability and development. These people have delivered a very important message, in my opinion, says that without justice, without noble human values, there is no future, and they are fighting for this future. So what is happening in Egypt now, this continuity of revolution, is saying that maybe the regime in Egypt did not change, but definitely Egyptian people have changed.
What do you foresee for the future?
I think the soon future, Egypt will stay unfortunately unstable for some time. The conflict between different sectors of societies maybe will be even developed, but for the long term, I am sure Egypt is going to again lead the Middle East to a new era of development and civilization, as it did before 200 years ago during Muhammad Ali time.
You spent 18 days in Tahrir Square during the revolution.
Yes.
Do you remember one episode that you want to share?
A lot. Just you asked me the question and I feel my hair. No, it was I was very lucky to live this 18 days and to witness this historical important event. In this event I have seen not how powerless people were able to face and defeat the most brutal dictatorship in the Middle East, but to see how simple is the solution of all conflicts and clashes between different people. I have seen Muslim bodies turned into churches, and I have seen Christian bodies turned into mosques, because in the square, when people wanted to pray, Muslims have formed, using their bodies, a wall to create a church for Christians to pray, and the Christians have done the same for the Friday prayer. I have seen young Christian girls walking for kilometers to bring water for Muslims for ablution. I have seen people who for first time were able to meet and talk together and understand what was between a possible friendship was only stereotypes. So the triumph of the Tahrir Square was this collapse of stereotypes about Muslims, about Christians, about rich, about poor. When you meet the true person, stereotypes collapse. So the square and all Egypt, because the importance of the square, it's a symbolic place, but it's symbolic because it's representing the whole country. When the police forces withdraw from Egypt streets, Egyptians had to protect themselves. So in each building you find a family Muslim, a Christian Muslim. So Christians and the Muslims have gathered together, spend the nights and the nights in front of their doors, protecting their families, and they have met. So the meeting in Tahrir Square was a symbolic meeting representing a huge event taking place all over the country. After the 18 days, with all events, some attacks on churches, some clashes between Muslims and the Christians, but again, last week in Tahrir Square, a lot of images came out showing a Christian holding a microphone for Muslims to pray for Imam who is leading the Muslim prayers. And again, we have seen again this unity between Muslims and the Christians. So I can say this revolution was not, as they say, a revolution with anger, because anger just destroys. It is a revolution of, in my opinion, a revolution of faith, and it's going to build. But what it's going to build, the fruits of this revolution still need time to be mature and to be seen for the rest of the world.
So Egypt will win the battle of freedom and prosperity?
In my opinion, Egypt has won the battle, because only free people who sacrifice their lives for their freedom. And this is what Egyptians are doing now.
Professor Farouq, thank you very much.